my name is Colin SkipperWing Bird, and welcome to another episode of SkipperWing Draws a Thing, where I, the eponymous SkipperWing, draw a thing. Today's thing, my New Year's card that I only did because New Year's Eve/day happens to be close enough for a drawing. If you'd like a version of this video without the audio commentary, don't forget to check out the links in the description, or in the cards, or in the annotations when they appear on screen at the end of this video. Or just click my face. There should be an annotation right here, right now. Today's music is Melude by Maison, provided by the Argo Fox YouTube channel. Link is in the description for download. And on to today's video. As mentioned earlier, I wasn't really planning on making a video. Just as with my Christmas 2016 video, my mood was such that I really wasn't in the mood to celebrate 2016. Sure, I have a pretty decent job, and I've been able to advance the SkipperWing and Crimson Fly IP brands, but the rest of the year wasn't so hot, even if you ignore the celebrity deaths, and without going into further detail. However, just as my Christmas video fell 2 days before Christmas, so too does this video fall 2 days before New Year's 2017. And so you guys get a video! Yay! Any excuse to make a video, right? I've never really done anything to celebrate New Year's, at least artistically, usually because Happy Holidays pretty much covers all the bases, at least until Valentine's. This year was different for the reasons stated before. Plus, in a weird way, hopefully this rings in the new year in a positive fashion. As for the subject matter, it's the Crimson Fly, as if you couldn't guess if you've seen almost any of my other videos. Since falling down chimneys is so last week, this time he's celebrating the ball drop on New Year's. Wait, is that supposed to be happening? Is the ball supposed to be dropping that fast? And it kind of looks like the Crimson Fly is falling. What's going on? Well, while I mentioned in my Christmas 2016 video that I wanted to emulate the cover style of Eiichiro Oda's One Piece chapter covers, the reason for emulating them is to get you, the reader, to appreciate them on a deeper level than, ooh, that's a pretty picture, or I really appreciate the artistic technique. I think Oda does that by intimating that there's some story within the cover that the reader is only seeing a snippet of while the main story happens in the chapter that you're reading, and I think that there's something there. By intimating that there's a story, but not giving so many details that the reader knows exactly what's going on, super degree, it forces the reader to really analyze the picture and figure out the story for themselves. This isn't unique to One Piece, but it is the more prominent example in my head. So, what's the story happening here? Well, the story is pretty much the same as any Crimson Fly story. The Fly tries to do something innocent, in this case, visit the New Year's celebration, and something goes wrong. As for what went wrong and how it gets resolved, well, that's up to you, dear reader. At least until I get enough stories under my belt to draw an annual story or something. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you're clever enough to come up with your own fiction for the Crimson Fly. As for the construction of this piece, as is consistently getting to be the case, the early construction was pretty simple. While I wasn't sure what a New Year's ball drop looked like off the top of my head, finding reference was pretty simple, even if most of the examples pretty much overlap each other. Heck, even sketching out the basic composition was a no-brainer, leading the viewer down the page from the top of the tower to the Crimson Fly down to the falling ball. And now you've seen it. And now you can't unsee it. What was tough was the coloring, as usual, for me. Which is why the Crimson Fly has a deliberately muted color palette. After last week's illustration, I decided to continue the practice of separating everything, but I also changed the saturation of Skyline to a 50% opacity and purposefully didn't fill in the tower and ball as I did for the Fly in order to give the work different layers of saturation and thus different layers of focus. The coloring was the hard part. While I still wanted the muted color palette, I wanted the same style as I had for the Christmas piece. The problem? I had no idea how I muted the color palette, which I'm usually really meticulous about. So I had to guess from scratch by playing with the background colors as well as the various atmospheric gradients I had in place. I like how it turned out, even though I am admittedly a little frustrated that I didn't have a structure for replicating it. Oh well, the more I do it, the better I'll get, right? What do you guys think? Maybe I should turn this into a print? And that's it for today's video. Please, if you like what you saw, please subscribe and turn on notifications, aka the little bell thing next to the subscribe button, to keep seeing these speed paint videos. Check me out on social media to see the finished picture and or check out my animated webcomic, The Crimson Fly. This is Colin SkipperWing Bird signing out, and I'll catch you peeps later.